Welcome to the Change Energizer Hot Seat Podcast. This is a place where leaders are dropped into the hot seat to open up about high-stake wins and reveal the trust X factor behind their triumphs. I'm your host, Scott Carley, the Trust Energizer. I believe the confidence people have in the way you show up, your character, and your expertise is a real game changer. When trust is high, people don't just perform, they pull off legendary Super Bowl wins. Today, my guest is Ajay Saini from Payroll Vault, a family-owned payroll company. You call Ajay when you hear someone stressing out over their payroll. So welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you here. So Ajay, tell our audiences what you do and who you serve.
So Scott, first of all, it's my pleasure to be here, and thanks for the invitation. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation. In terms of what I do, very simple. We make sure employees get paid, and our clients are compliant. All their payroll taxes are paid on time, and they can continue to do what they love most, running their businesses without worrying about payroll.
Oh man, that all by itself, that lifts a huge weight off of an entrepreneur's or a small business or a large business shoulder when somebody else is taking care of the payroll and the taxes, and they can breathe a little easier because they know it's all taken care of. That's your job?
Yeah, that's the work we do.
Okay, cool. I love that. Well, we both know every one of your clients, prospects, and decision makers are silently asking you a series of trust-based questions unconsciously before they ever sign the deal. They may not say it out loud, but they're scanning for signals, looking for proof that you're someone they can rely on, collaborate with, and work alongside. That's exactly why I created the Trust Credit Score, a framework built around the 5 key signals of trust. Your vibe check, your agenda and motives. Do you walk your talk? Can you actually deliver? And do you have receipts? So today, I'm putting you into the hot seat to answer some of the questions your clients are already asking, whether they realize it or not, about your professional services. So are you ready to dive in?
I'm ready. Yeah.
All right,
Looking
good.
forward to
Yeah,
it.
man. Yeah, I'm glad to have you here today. Ajay, I just wanted to ask you a question. What's the wildest high stakes challenge your team has ever faced where failure would have been a nightmare?
So, Scott, I'll tell you in a bit, but the way we work, we actually don't face those disastrous situations because we are very proactive. Having said that, you will always, as part of any business, there will be things where you need to address. There can be time pressure and all those kind of things, and you need to be more vigilant. But the way we operate, we pretty much guarantee our clients that if you follow our best practices, you don't have to worry about anything.
Well, that's a pretty good track record and a pretty good motives in what you're doing, because what I hear you say is you are intentional and proactive so that those things don't surprise you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, and unfortunately, in payroll, not doing this is not an option. Like when you ask that question, if we fail, right, the employees don't get paid, that's not an option. On Fridays, when there's a pay date, every employee wants, they have bills to pay, they have things to do, they have worked hard. So them not getting paid is simply not an option. And at the same time, doing things correctly is also important because employer, they don't have unlimited budget that we can mess up and say, oh, some of the money, extra money was paid or whatever, and now there's nothing in your bank account because we made a, we put an extra zero or something. So it's in some industries there can be more tolerance, but payroll, yeah, either you are correct or you are not.
Yeah. Oh man, I love
It's
that.
just not
I
an
love
option.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I need to be on your payroll. So I make sure I get it every month, every week, whatever it is. So, well, let me ask you a question, another question. How do you ensure that my team is paid accurately and on time every single pay cycle? I mean, what systems and redundancies do you have in place to avoid errors like we were just talking about?
So, Scott, if you can please allow me, I can little bit for the benefit of your listeners, can share the payroll landscape before answering your exact question. And by landscape, I mean to say, what are the options? If you are a business owner and say you are a small business owner, and I'm saying, say you have employees somewhere between 1 and 500, right? And you are looking for a payroll solution, what are your options? And the reason I'm telling you all this kind of takes in terms of compliance, timeliness, and all those kind of things. So let
Sure.
me paint this landscape. One of the options could be that you search online or you heard like a couple of big payroll companies and you sign one of those, and that's one option. The second option could be you say that, okay, I'm pretty skilled, like I know finances, I've done, I'm a smart person, I can do a lot of things, and I'll do payroll, it's not a big deal. Let me subscribe a software service where there are software, I'll take the subscription and I'll do it. The third option could be that I go to my CPA, because the CPA is doing my regular, my individual taxes, my corporate taxes, understand a lot of things, can run the payroll, so I can make a request. Or I can go to my bookkeeper or HR people, they know about all the time, overtime, all those kind of things, and ask like, okay, hey, you are doing my HR, you are doing my bookkeeping, can you do my taxes, or my outsourced CFO? And I can I can tell you the pros and cons of all the approaches. I'm not here to say that okay, any of these type of companies are bad or something. They all are good. People work hard. We know that small business owners or big companies, they were small earlier and they became big by doing something right. So the intention is to just give the landscape. The bigger companies, it's not that they don't know anything. They know everything about payroll. They can do, they have been successful. The challenge the small business owners face working with them at times is they are actually too big. By that I mean to say, there will be teams. You get a sales rep, sign you up. The sales rep will hand over to another team. Onboarding team will onboard you, and then you are doing your payroll. If there is any question or something, what do? The sales rep is not in the loop. You typically, even if you have an account manager, you send an email, you'll wait for a response, or you call an 800 number and then press one for this, press two for that. Somebody will pick up the phone. You explain who you are, you ask the questions and all. And that's designed that way. Small business owners are like, they have so many of those, is just a small fish in the ocean. So the
Yeah.
attention or personalized service is not there. That's the fact, and that would happen with any big business. Um, the second option, if I go with a software based approach where I can do on my own, those softwares are pretty good. They're very flexible. They have a lot of things. If I know what I'm doing, that whatever input I put, output would come out of that. The challenge is if I make a mistake, it's not the software's fault. It's like the output is wrong. And I can give you many examples when people come to us using the software and all, and when they get into trouble, why they get into trouble. But
I would be one of those. I would be one of those.
it's like, if we are not from that industry, we are not. And also, the second part is, if I want to do everything on my own, how much time do I have? Because as a payroll company, I can decide to build my own website. I can do my own social media marketing. I can do, all of the sort of CRM stuff. But do I have the time? If I'm spending everything on this, then when I will focus on payroll? So that's the other thing. If some businesses say, it will not take that much time, I can do my own. Yes, you can. If you're skilled, it will probably take a little bit less, but then you can make mistakes if you don't know, and also how much time you want to spend. That's the second option. The third option could be I go to my CPAs. and I can go to my HR people, I can go to my bookkeeper, I can go to my outsourced CFO and say, okay, hey, you are doing so much for me. Can you do this? And there are companies of these nature who are accounting or HR, they do payroll from time. Not all, but some companies, they do it. And when I ask them why you do that, the majority of them actually say, oh, some of the clients asked us to do it. Or we thought, let's bundle everything so there is more stickiness. We can keep these clients. Some say, I mean, we have people, we have some knowledge, or we have knowledge, we can do it. We can have an additional revenue stream. The challenge there is, where our focus is, or where we are the main businesses, that's where our focus is. And wherever the focus is, things go right. And if it becomes a, best effort, or I'll just do it as a side gig, it's hard. And payroll is not that kind of a business. So I have seen very smart CPAs, bookkeepers, some HR companies, they get into it. They themselves from time to time come to us. Oh, now I got this client. This is complicated. It's taking too much of my time. Can you do it? And at times people come also on their own because they realize, oh, they're not getting either the attention, or during the tax season, the CPAs are busy, the staff is busy, things fall through the chair, they have issues. Not because they can't do it, it's just they don't have the time to focus because their primary business is something else.
So what makes you different?
So,
what makes you different?
So now, yeah, why I think we are different, and I don't see that many people like me where our primary business is payroll. This is what we do. So our focus is totally on payroll, and we cater to small businesses. So our target market is, we really value them. We are their partners, and we try to help them because we understand the challenges of small businesses, and we offer personalized service. So by that, I mean to say, remember I mentioned, like, a lot of times the big companies, you open a ticket, or you it's like for software based, if I have a payroll software, if I have a question, what do? I open a ticket. Who will answer that ticket? Whoever is available. So the ticket will be assigned to a person. The person will come and I'll say, okay, yeah, I'll answer, or I will help you. Big companies, same thing. You call and then somebody would pick up the phone and will answer. In our case, one of the big differentiators is our clients work with one payroll manager. That's their main payroll manager. There can be backup or something when the main payroll manager is on vacation, but day in, day out, they are working with one payroll manager. They are talking to, they can text, they can call, they can email the same person who is actually doing their payroll. And when they call, it's not like, okay, what's your first name? What's your last name? What's your account number? Nothing, none of that. It's more like, okay, hey, Scott, what's up? Because they're already talking and they already know what the context is. And then, okay, by the way, ABC, 1 or 2 minutes call, done. So that's the kind of personalized service we offer.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing you say is that's a boutique, very personalized customer interaction. I like the fact what you said that they know who's calling, they know what your number is. I've been again this week. I called somebody and I had a not in payroll but something else, and when I called them, they said, "Oh, hello, Mr. Carley Scott. How are you doing?" Well, it's Scott Carley. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. How are you doing, Mr. Scott Carley? And I see in your notes here, XYZ, ZYX, 123. Oh, I see all these notes here about you and what your situation is. And I have to appreciate that somebody, the last person I talked to, typed in a bunch of notes, and all that's good, but that doesn't mean they know me. They just can read the notes. And what I'm hearing from you is that they have one account manager, and that's the person that they connect with. They can text them, they can call them, and they're recognizable. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like, same person. And it's not the person who is more of a, I'll take the call, I'll take the message, and then I'll ask someone else to answer that. That person is actually the payroll manager. So can not only take that call or text or email, but will also answer.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
So it's
love
like
that. That is,
they talk to the expert all the time. So there are no layers that, okay, hey, let me open a ticket or let me leave a voicemail and then or explain it to this, and then they will say, oh, our payroll expert will get back to you in the next 4 hours or 4 days, whatever the window they have. So in our case, the payroll manager can solve the problem right there, pretty much,
yeah,
or
that's
answer the
good.
question.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. All right, let's keep going. Because that is an area. I mean, you just really raised a really high trust credit score. You have very, very high interpersonal relation between the client and the company, so that they're not a number, they're actually a person that they have a relationship with. So the next thing that is a big question, this is a big question. In what ways do you stay current on local, state, and federal tax laws and regulations? I mean, how will you protect me from penalties or compliance issues?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Scott. And one of the things, like, is that we are a family-owned business. I had the sales. My wife, she heads the operations, and she is not like a regular, what I would say, a $25 an hour processor person. She is an expert, and that helps us stay compliant and keep our clients on track. She is a certified internal auditor. So the CIA certification is it's a global certificate, and it has high credibility. She's also having certification in risk management assurance. And more importantly, she has 30 years of experience working for large financial institutions. So you name it, like Citibank, Bank of the West, Union Bank, multiple banks in different countries, in Asia and Europe, and also here in US. And
Wow,
then
that's awesome.
yeah, and then she worked for startups, including Uber, and then also consulting firms. So she worked for PwC. And so she basically used to work in the field of compliance and audit. And as an example, when she was in Sweden, she used to go, and when she was working for Citibank, she used to go to different banks, Citibank here and there, or Citibank Sweden, to see they are compliant internal audit. So when the regulators come, they don't find problems because they fix in a proactive manner. So the same experience she built over the years, learned by working in these big companies, she has brought to our practice, which means she is proactive, and she is providing that, large financial institutions type of compliance and
Oh, I
audit
love that.
best
That's great.
practices in our business.
Yeah, she has experience in that large corporate entity, and so she knows what she's looking for. Um, I I love that. I think that's really cool.
And
My
continue, Scott, just one more point I want to add quickly. You also
okay.
mentioned, how do we stay current? So for her CIA, for her certification, she needs to do the CUs and all those kind of things, education every year, which she does. But also there are two other factors that bring trust. One, when we hire, so our payroll manager is not like, okay, we hire a newbie and then we'll just train that person. We hire experts who know what they're doing for a long time. And
Oh,
then
that's
also,
good.
Payroll Vault is a franchise. So we have a big team of Payroll Vault sitting in Colorado, in the Denver area. And those experts are doing, the Payroll Vault was initially formed by CPA, and the experts sitting over there, they are very good resource for us. So if there is any new thing that happens, it's not that we have to wait and read. There are experts where we can get answers from. That's actually a big help for us.
Yeah, that is a big deal, and be able to know in a minute, or be able to look across the way at somebody else's desk, or call them or whatever, and say, "Hey, you're an expert on this. Tell me about what's going on here."
Yeah.
My CPA, one of the things that she's certified in is IRS negotiations. And it is probably the main reason that I hired her years ago as my
Hmm.
CPA. It was because I'm thinking I've never been audited by the IRS. I had a friend
Right.
who told me I've been audited 3 times by the IRS, and I thought I'm not going to hang out with you. And I've never been audited because she has that expertise. She knows what they're looking for, and so she can make sure that my taxes are done exactly correct. So I love what you're saying there. I think that's
Yeah,
really good.
I think it's a big part, and I think the way you do your business and your trusting, I guess you are an expert in realizing who could be a trustworthy partner for your needs, and what you
Right.
just explained. That's a big deal because when people know all the tax codes, how IRS works, and all those kind of it just helps keeping you compliant. Because if you may go and say, okay, can I deduct this? Can I make this? No, this is not right. Or on the other hand, you may be too defensive or something. Oh, can I take this credit or something? Absolutely, because the tax
Yeah.
law or the tax code allows you to do so. So yeah, having an expert really helps.
Yeah, I love that too. I think you're spot on. I'm Scott Carley, the Change Energizer, and I am fired up to be speaking this April at the Center for Coaches in Organization Summit, better known as CCO. This powerful virtual event is designed specifically for executive and leadership coaches who want to elevate their impact. My topic is Breakthrough Kinetic Leadership, and I'll be introducing you to the Kinetic Leadership Formula for crushing barriers and fueling momentum. You'll discover the magic of moving from energy at rest to kinetic breakthrough motion and learn exactly what it takes to get big ideas across the finish line. So grab your ticket and join me and the incredible community of coaches this April for the virtual CCO Summit. Let's get you in motion. I'm a growing business,
Hmm.
and things are different now than they were a few years ago. Can you describe how you tailor your payroll services to the needs of growing businesses who, over the years they get bigger and things change, and as a growing business, what do you do to tailor your payroll services to them?
So there are, like, I give you an example. Initially, a business may come and they say, oh, I have, like, 20 employees, quite a few of them are salaried, there are a few who are on the hourly basis. And initially, they may just go and enter their hours of few employees who are hourly, rest are all salaried. That's how they have been doing. Suddenly, they grow, they double their team. There are a lot of hourly employees. And at that time, entering the hours every week, if their payroll is weekly or bi-weekly, whatever the frequency is, takes time. And we see, if initially they didn't have the need, we go to them and say, as an example, we have a timekeeping solution. So why you want to spend time really keeping track of or maintaining this Excel sheet or whatever you have to see who has worked how many hours, which can be prone to errors? Why don't we do a timekeeping solution for you? And in the timekeeping, the employees, even when they are in the field, they can just use their phone, check in, check out. And we can put all the meal breaks, all those kind of, lunch, 5 hour break, whatever it is, whatever the laws are, we can implement all of those. So employer doesn't have to worry about. Employees know they are getting paid accurately, and in an electronic manner, all the hours are collected, and then the supervisor or their administrator can just look into it. Yeah, everything looks cool. Submit, done, and then we get all those hours. So we save time. So initially they may not want to spend on the timekeeping solution, but as they evolve, they would. So we need to have solutions, and also things may change. For example, in California earlier, it was not required that if you have 5 or 4 employees, then you need to have a retirement plan, but it changed. And now from this year, they changed it further to say that even if you have one employee, you need to offer a retirement solution. So we work with expert companies who are doing the retirement plans, and then we proactively tell them that, okay, hey, this law change is coming and things like that. Would you like, if you have, we are pretty agnostic. We can work with different players, whatever our clients prefer. But if they want guidance, then we can say that, okay, hey, we have our partners. You can talk to them, and you can scale. So we come up with solutions as they evolve, and it's not about you versus me type of a thing. It's like we have interest in our clients, whatever their needs are. How can we support the best we can and make them successful? So that it's a little bit of a mindset thing also, because it's very easy for me to say that, okay, hey, I just do the payroll. This is my job. For the rest of the things, you figure it out.
Oh yeah,
No,
I like the fact that you're being proactive about you can help me as a team and what you can do, and instead of waiting on me. And as you see me grow, you know that there are templates that I can move into and areas where a different type and style of expertise is needed. Now that kind of brings us to another question, and happens probably hardly ever to you because I know you're good. But how do you handle mistakes or disputes when they arise? I mean, do you take responsibility if it's yours, and do you resolve it quickly, or do you start pointing fingers and it's somebody else's fault? Tell me, tell me how you do that,
yeah.
because your clients are asking that subconsciously.
So I have been a business owner for many years, and I've done few businesses. I understand the challenges of small business owners. So there is absolutely no point, I think, whatever we are doing, to point fingers at the small business owners. Because if I go for a big corporation, there is a CEO, there are different departments, there's a software unit, product management unit, marketing, sales, all kinds of control. There are different types of departments. Small business owner, the owner can be the CEO and can be the janitor on the same day. So
Yeah,
because we wear so many multiple hats. So it's not about pointing fingers. There are two things. One, we always make recommendations and suggest that, okay, hey, follow these best practices, and then we guarantee them that if you follow our best practices, if anything happens. So far we have not faced that because of our mistake we have got any letter from IRS or state saying our clients will have to pay penalties and interest because we made a mistake. So this has not happened yet. I think
that's
part of it
great.
is because of the way our systems are in place. And as I mentioned, the background of our operations head, my spouse, in the control compliance audit really helps. But at the same time, I think it will be wrong for me to be arrogant and make an assumption that there will never be an error. It can happen. We are humans, and even if we can ourselves make a mistake as owners, or also our staff, they could be stressed. An employee can be having a bad day, personal situation, whatever it is, and people can make mistake. So what I say to our clients, you should not be having any issue if you follow our best practices. However, if something happens because of our mistake, we will take care of it. So you should not be paying penalties and fines because we made a mistake. If we made a mistake, we will fix it. We'll pay for you because you didn't make a mistake. You trusted us. You came to us and said, take care of my payroll. And
Yeah,
now, if I make a mess, it's my job to not only fix it, but pay whatever that penalty or fine is because of my error. So that's kind of, and I say that in all humility because yeah, things can happen. I cannot predict the future. That so far it has not happened. It means we will never make a mistake. We might.
yeah. To
I
to
hope
err
not.
is human. To err is human. So
Right. So I mean, I hope I won't. But yeah, if it happens and our company makes a mistake, yeah, we that's our responsibility. The second part is, if in spite of our education, our clients make some mistakes. In that case, it's not a case of pointing fingers, it's a case of empathizing with that person and saying that, okay, sorry that you are, this is an issue, but this happened. Let's, first of all, let's investigate why it happened. And it could be different things. It could be as simple, oh, my employee didn't get paid today. But okay, turns out to be the employee changed the bank account. So the money would come back because that account, what is in the system, is no longer there. It's closed. Or they changed the bank account but didn't inform, or they informed the employer didn't inform us. There can be very small, tiny details where somebody may have made a mistake. And if it happened, we try to go through the trail, investigate, and then inform the client that, okay, hey, this is what it is. Something was changed. Who changed it? We on the log, we are seeing that this employee or you made those changes. Why you made it? Oh, I didn't realize that I'm this would call, or whatever it is. If so, then we tell them that, okay, no worries. Now let's fix it. So then we go and fix it. But it's also, if something is done, it's also education is part of it. We do an onboarding when the client comes on. So we do explain everything, but they are busy. So if they made a mistake, it's not like it's to answer your point, it's not about pointing fingers. It's about like, okay, hey, first of all, find out what happened without any judgment. And then based on the facts, then have a discussion and then say, okay, hey, this is the solution.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think it's great to get away from pointing fingers and you didn't do, and people get on the phone with you and something happened and they're all upset and they've got, they're all heated, and so, de-escalating and then say, okay, well, let's take a look at it. Let's see what happened. Oh, it looks like something happened here. Well, I didn't push that button. I'm sure you didn't, but somebody pushed that button. Doesn't really matter who did. We just need to pull that button out and fix this. And, whatever approach that you're taking, where it's really not the blame game. It's there was an issue, and we're going to resolve it, and that's why you hired us. You hired us to resolve that issue. I have a client who is a commercial realtor,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been very successful. And
Mm-hmm.
when I asked him, I said, Brentley, what is it that, if there was one thing you would attribute your success to, what would it
Uh-huh.
be? And he said processes. He said, we write processes all the time for every part of the transactions and all the stuff that we do. And so when somebody new comes in, we have notebooks of processes. And those are processes that we live by, we update, but those are the things that help get rid of human error. When you have a very clear process, and that's what I'm hearing from you. You apparently have got some very clear processes that have alleviated most of the human error. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely right, and I wish I can say that I'll take credit for that. It's not me. Again, it's my spouse. Just because of her background, she's the one who sets up all of those things, and I don't come in her way. If I ask her to do something and she says, "Okay, this is how it's done. This is the process," I don't challenge her, and then I say, "Okay, I know you know what you are doing, so go with it."
Hey,
So
I
that
love
really
that.
helps.
I don't know if I may get busted for this if I say it online, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Behind every great man is a great woman and a surprise mother-in-law.
Yeah, you're right. And I've been lucky, and it's working out great. And also the roles in any organization, I focus on business development, and she doesn't interfere in what I'm doing when it comes to the business development part, where I'm going, where I'm spending my time, networking, whatever I'm doing, meeting people. She trusts me, and she leaves it up to me how I'm doing all those things.
Yeah,
And
that's good. We knowing your lane,
yeah,
and staying in your lane where you're gifted and where you're qualified to be is really critical to every company. Now you've kind of answered the next question that I had, so I won't go into it because the question was, what's the vibe I get from your team when we talk payroll? And what I just heard from you is that, it's clear, it's respectful, it's not rushed or robotic, but they're just good, clear conversations about what do you need, what's going on, and how we can fix issues.
Yeah,
So,
there's one
um,
thing that I can add. I mean, if you have time, and that's this is my belief. My personality is such that I go by intention. That's important to me. We all have our own values. So for me, when I interact with people, I go by intention. If the person I'm talking to has the right intention, even if something is slightly off, I don't care because I know the intention is always right. And I always try to go with an approach when I'm talking to someone, keep my intentions right. And by that, I mean to say, I always try to think what is best for that person. So if the solution is something which maybe I don't have it exact 100% solution. If someone comes to me and PEO is a better offering or something, I'll say that, okay, maybe have you considered PEO? That could be of value to you. If that's the case, I don't mind. It's not like, okay, if the
that's
person
good.
came to me, I need to convert this lead into a sale and get this as a client. If for whatever reason the person can get benefit somewhere else, so be it. So I think that plays a crucial role in our interactions in the small business world when we are interacting with people.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that. So this is another big question I'm fixing to, and this will be really the next to the last. I got a couple of other things, but here's a big one. How do you ensure confidentiality with employee and executive payroll data? I mean, who has access and how is that protected? Because I know sometimes companies have to give disclosure, but well, there's a lot of things that are confidential about compensation. So how do you keep that? How do you ensure that confidentiality?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and it's a very, very important question, especially when it comes to payroll, because it's just not the compensation part. We have access to bank details, both of the employer and the employee's date of birth, social security, all those
Oh
things.
yeah, you've
Have
got ton
every,
of
you know,
very
yeah,
important information there.
yeah. So there are a couple of things. One is the internal, one is external. By internal, I mean to say the employee training. We get experts from the very beginning who know the responsibilities, but also we tell them our ways of working, and confidentiality and all those kind of things are top priority. We always say that whenever there is any question or discussion, what can keep our clients compliant, and same thing goes for us. So we need to be compliant, our clients need to be compliant. So compliance is always number one priority. And then when it
Yeah.
comes to data security, we have hired, because again, I mean, I have tech background. I can assume that, okay, hey, I can do my own security, I know I can install the software, those things. Make sure, no, I don't have the time, and I'm not current. As you mentioned, like, how do you keep yourself current? Whatever I know,
Yeah.
how do I know what I knew 10 years back is valid today, or what I knew 1 month back is valid today, or what's going on? So we have a professional company who takes care of our IT security.
That's great. That's good to know. And just saying that makes my blood pressure go down a little bit and my heart rate go down a little bit because I know you've got somebody who's
Yeah.
guarding all of that, and you hired it. It's not you, it's somebody else. I
Because they
love that.
specialize, they are into, like, cybersecurity,
Yes.
all those kind of things. And it also, day-to-day operations, it becomes a lot easier. If my employee has any computer issue or something, or a software issue, or they don't need to call me that, okay, hey, I can't log in, or I can't do this, or it's not working. They call the IT company, and the IT company will take care of that.
Yeah, and that's part of your team. And really that's the last questions. We'll wrap it up with this one. Who's on your elite high trust payroll team? So what I mean by that is, for you to be able to do the work that you do, you're bound to have tax and compliance experts, HR integration specialists, client account managers, tech support and platform engineers, customer success teams. So tell me a little bit about your team. You just told me that you hired an expert to take care of IT, Who are some of the other experts that you've hired for your team?
So, very, very good question. For example, when it comes to HR, I know quite a bit. I can be dangerously, act as an HR person, but I will never do that. And sometimes I get this question that the client will call me and say, okay, if you were me, what would you do? And it's just a way to get the answer. And I say, you know what? I can tell you what I think is right, but I cannot be your HR professional. So we have partners in all the critical areas. And if they have questions, we say, okay, I can connect you to our HR partner, for example, and they are the ones who can answer you because I know they are up to date. My knowledge, I have the knowledge, but it may be outdated. Who knows when the law. I don't keep track of all the changes in the HR laws. I keep track of payroll laws, not of the HR. Similarly, things like retirement plan is big. Along with that, benefits consultant, CFOs, CPAs, tax laws, all those kind of things keep coming because clients expect us, because they think, oh, if you're the payroll company, we may know this or we can answer. Similarly, workers' comp insurance is big. If you are running payroll, you have employees, you need to have workers' comp insurance. So we have a very wide range of all these professionals where we connect them based on what their needs are. And I think one of my personality overall is also related to I consider myself a connector. And it's just not big on my clients. If I know someone and I see there are two people who can meet and potentially they can benefit from each other, I try to make those introductions. Not that because I will get something out of it. It's mainly I feel if I connect two parties and those two parties can do more and serve their clients better, it gives me happiness that, okay, hey, they both are, first of all, they both can get business and potentially their clients can benefit from the expert services they will get. So why not? So I really, this is one of the satisfying job of my business development work, that when I'm able to connect, actually it gives me more joy. Just believe me that the
Oh,
happiness
yeah.
I get out of that is more than me just closing a sale, because that I do on a regular basis, right? Every day when we got calls, we are closing and we are getting clients. But whenever I'm able to do something for others where there is nothing at stake for me or I have no financial benefit, it gives you more, that joy or that fulfillment is at a different level.
Oh man, when you love your job and love your work, and you feel like it's a mission, and you're connecting people, that's a great feeling. So, wow, that's really cool. Ajay, this has been such a neat session today, and I've heard so many really good answers. Audience, I hope you've been paying attention to what he said, and I have a feeling some of you have been doing a unconscious trust credit score. Check, 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 check on the boxes, and I've been hearing a lot of great things today. Ajay, I think it's great. So as we wrap up, is there anything that you would like to add that you want the audience to know that we haven't covered so far?
Um, Not from my point of view. The only thing I will say is that live a life of fulfillment. Just, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, work with the experts. When it comes to organizations working smoothly, then there are some issues and all. Why not talk to Scott for an example? And maybe any other field. If I'm struggling with my cash flow, it's much better to talk to an outsourced CFO rather than trying to figure out myself. So my message would be, hire the experts or consult the experts, talk to people. It's will save a lot of time, stress, and have a great sort
Oh
of
man,
life. Basically, whatever we want to do, we should spend more time on whatever we love.
yeah, I believe that 300%. If that's mathematically correct. Some of the best advice my dad gave me, and dad gave me lots of advice. Some of it I loved, some of it I didn't. But one, he said, if you want to learn how to be an electrician, you don't ask a plumber. You go to the people who have what you want and you
Yeah.
ask them how they got there. And so I think that's great advice. If you're struggling with your payroll and those are things that are you're concerned about whether or not your employees are going to get their paycheck, go ask somebody at the Payroll Vault. So, Ajay, how can people get in touch with you? If somebody wanted to call you up or talk to you, how can they get in touch with you?
So the easiest thing would be to find me on LinkedIn. So it's like, Ajay Saini, Ajay, and last name Saini, Saini. And then just if you search Ajay Saini and Payroll Vault, you'll find me. That would be probably the easiest way. It's pretty easy, but just I really enjoyed this conversation. The thing that your father said about don't go to a plumber for an electrician work. I think the it's so true, and it's also valid for us as business owners. If someone comes to me and is asking for whether it's HR or bookkeeping or whatever, I don't try to fit in payroll into that or say, okay, hey, forget about all that. You need to do payroll or whatever it is. It's not about what I have. It's always about what the other person needs. That's
Right.
what we should focus. And if everybody focuses on that, I think the life will be will be great for everyone. But that's I think is a very neat advice or comment your father made.
Well, thank you very much for being here. You call Ajay Saini when you hear someone is stressing over their payroll. So let's keep this conversation going. And thank you very much. And so I hope that all of you, this may be your first time to listen to the Change Energizer Hot Seat podcast. And if it is, go in and register and become one of our regular visitors. And you might be thinking, well, I need to bring this into my company. I need to bring Scott Carley in and let him put one of our key leaders in the hot seat, one of our salespeople in the hot seat, so that we could find out about some of these trust issues that we need to energize. So get in touch with me. You can get in touch with me at calltheenergizer.com and book a call with me, and let's just have a discussion about you and the hot seat. So thanks for being here today. I hope you have a great week. Thank you very much for being here with us.